15,000 U.S. Army soldiers have once again been transported to the past. And this time around, they have heavy numbers from the Marine Corps, they have armored divisions with M1A2 Abrams, they've got a small Air Force with Apache helicopters, and some engineers have brought forward a single nuclear missile system for them to use. But these 15,000 U.S. Army soldiers are heavily outnumbered by 7 million ancient Spartans that they've time-traveled to. These Spartans are leading a coalition of Greek city-states with hoplites, archers, and catapults all ready to launch a large-scale invasion of the U.S. Army-held bridge defense here. Will the ancient warriors be able to defeat the U.S. Army, heavily outnumbered, but certainly not outgunned? Or will the U.S. Army be able to drive them back with their Sea Whizzes rapid firing in the front lines? Only time will tell. If you guys do enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. Now let's get into this thing. Alright guys, pressing start right now, and here we go! Bombastic fire coming in from the US military, striking down the front line of Spartiates that are death charging on forward. Brave warriors to be sure, but charging a row of lead bullets never really works out great. They should be able to deflect some of their fire with their bronze shields, but not a nuke, which is coming around the corner here, and skadoosh! That's got to be at least 30,000 Spartans exploding through the air, leaving a crater in their wake right there as the nuke takes out all of them. Well done, my friends, with the nuclear bombs. Beautiful. Last time around, we did a video with all of the different medieval units versus the United Nations, and we had way too many nukes for them, but those nukes were in place for a reason. The United Nations was rewarded with them for their first charge. And there are 7 million Spartans coming forward now. However, if they do manage to breach through the U.S. military, any of them left alive will have the chance to take out a final stand of the U.S. military as well. So we could be seeing more than 7 million Spartans, as well as more U.S. military forces after this also, unless the U.S. military does manage to get a swift victory. Now, let's meet our cast of characters. So we've got the Apache helicopters over here, which are derping a little bit. They are flying, but they do have a little bit of a hitbox down below where they can be stabbed with swords and spears and whatnot. So they're not invincible to ground units. It's just, you know, a balancing thing. But these guys are able to fire some nice rockets at the enemy. Beneath them, we actually have some LMG troopers down here who are right now firing across the river. But down this way, they're going to have challengers coming forward. Yes, and here they already are. Spartan warriors coming forward. There's about 500,000 of them on this side of the island that are going to be flanking around. The U.S. has, thought of this, so they're ready for it. But that's 500,000 Spartans coming at them. That's going to be rough. Then to the other side of the nuclear missile system, we actually have some CIA special agents as well, who are currently going to be protecting this bridge area over here. We've got some hoplites coming on in this way, and those guys, they'll be easily defeated, I think. But the thing is, the Spartans can also worm their way around these mountains up here. It does take them a while, but there might be another flank coming from this way, and you can see actually some of those Spartans doing that right now. So the U.S. is going to have to be on their toes. While the main defense is going to be this bridge, by the way, another nuke going out. Let's go! Oh my goodness. Yes, while the main defense is over here by the bridge, the flanks will certainly be in play during this battle. We've got bodies scattering everywhere as the nuke has just absolutely obliterated them and sent them flying every which way. Now, over here we have a small marksman team of U.S. Army soldiers who are able to fire across the way on the river. That's their only task, is to just be obliterating Spartan soldiers across the river. They don't have to worry about direct charges from the enemy or anything like that. They simply just need to hold this position. Next to them over here, we have some additional DMR troopers for the United States. Oh, a lot of lag. What the heck? All right, that's a bit strange. We got a little bit of a lag spike. Hopefully that goes away soon. But these guys are backing up fire for the M1A2 Abrams that are in front of them. And then in front of those guys on the bridge itself, it's still laggy. What happened, bro? We have the UNSC Marines with some light machine guns up here firing away as well. In front of them, of course, we have the Sea Whizzes. And in front of the Sea Whizzes, we have our vanilla modern U.S. Army soldiers. The rest of these units, I believe all of the modern units were designed by Jamie D or modded into the game by Jamie D, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I think I'm giving credit to the right person. He's a legend. By the way, I won't be able to link mods in the description for this because this is pulling from a ton of different mods, and a lot of them have been removed from the workshop due to copyright claims and things like that, so I will not be able to link the mods for this. However, just go in the Steam Workshop and look up Modern, and you'll get the Modern soldiers. Look up Greek or Spartan, and you'll get the Spartan soldiers that are available, and just click subscribe. So there's no real need to link them. I highly recommend just popping open the workshop. It's way easier to do that than to click the links in the description. But for maps and stuff like that for Gates of Hell, I am trying to be better about linking them and stuff like that because those are hard to find. Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2, there just aren't that many mods, and it's really much easier to just go on the workshop and do it yourself that way. Either way, these Spartan warriors on the right flank are actually coming up here against some of these LMG soldiers and getting some stabby stabs in. Look at this. They're actually creeping up and being smart, hiding behind this hill and cresting over and then lunging down to attack. Really a pretty brilliant strategy to deal with a ranged unit. Not bad in the slightest. I really admire that. These guys, by the way, over here have taken some damage, and a couple have died. That must mean the Spartans are over this way. And yes, there are, or sorry, not Spartans. There's a lot of Spartans everywhere. Archers are over this way is what I meant to say. And yes, there is quite a number of archer units over here, and it seems like a few of them are pausing to fire out this way. Just not a ton of them yet. Just a few of them are firing out that way. On the front lines, the modern soldiers here are just holding out perfectly fine. Never mind. A bunch of them died over here due to archer fire. And yes, there are more archer arrows coming in and dinking off some of these modern soldiers. So some of them are losing their lives over here. But luckily, most of the melee units are not able to reach these guys yet. So they're not going to be taking any sort of catastrophic loss during the start of this battle here. They are doing perfectly fine on the front lines against melee units. It's the range units that are a problem. And I think it's because the Sea Whizzes are just keeping all of these melee units at bay. But here comes some catapults over this way. These guys are getting mighty close here, and actually a few are firing away, so those rocks should be hitting some of the U.S. Army forces over this way soon. The bridge is still perfectly intact. The marksman to the right side still perfectly intact. How about the CIA special agents over here? They're doing perfectly fine. Oh, but the mountain flankers are coming in the back this way, and actually they are making some quick progress into the flanks of these CIA special agents. Look at this, actually quite a number of them getting killed extremely quickly here. That is not good in the slightest. These guys are going to be in for some serious trouble to come here. We are at 5.6 million Spartans remaining, / Greek soldiers in general, but they're being led by the Spartans, so we'll say Spartans. That means 1.4 million has died already to the modern U.S. Army. That's insane. Meanwhile, there's 13,900 U.S. soldiers remaining, meaning about 1,100 of them have died on the battlefield thus far. These guys are getting cooked right now. Spatial agents are not doing well. That makes me worried about our nuke in the back here potentially getting flanked earlier than we would like to see. The LMG units over here are doing much better, but still they are taking losses on these corners, so that is very much so not good either. That is a travesty. We might be looking at some really bad results in the early stages of this battle, I must say. And even the front lines here, looks like the catapults are starting to rip apart some of the front-lining U.S. Army soldiers over here, which is going to make their front bridge defense a lot worse. Let's do a quick time-lapse over here on this flank because these guys are getting eaten away at, but we'll keep the time lapse is pretty short today because the battle is progressing rather rapidly here, but it's always fun to do a few time lapses here and there. And the Spartans cut through these guys like butter over here extremely quickly, and it looks like the catapults are starting to hit our marksmen across the river here, so they are getting distracted from their task slightly, but still getting some really nice marksman fire across the river, but that is becoming problematic to say the very least. M1A2s over here still getting nice shots in. Sea Whizzes, though, are all but destroyed at this point, as the catapults and the archers have done enough damage to them to take them down. Wow, there's still a couple fighting the good fight here, but I imagine they are not long for this world, and there goes one of them sadly sloping down to its death. Its friend still firing, and there she goes, not before getting at least 10 or 20 more kills with that little burst of fire there, which is good to see, but rip the dream. Is this dead? Nope. The nuke is still alive. Amazing. If that thing can continue to fire, that'd be great. Spartans have just about 5 million soldiers remaining, so almost 2 million of them have died at this point. Look at this. Oh god, they're getting right up against the nuke here. That is not good, boyos. Wow. Perhaps the modern military was never going to win this thing. I thought they would perform better. If this was the Romans, modern military would probably be winning. I'm not gonna lie, but it seems like the Spartans are just a whole different breed. The Apaches over here are still derping, but they're still firing as well, so we'll let them derp. As long as they're doing some damage, baby, that's all that matters. Yes, sir. Who cares if they're derpy? Let them fight. Let them win. Let's watch the M1A2s over here firing. They are having to turn around to fire a little bit, but let's watch the bridge area over this way with them. The front lines here is still holding decently for the U.S., but as you can see, the back lines have failed them. The Apaches are still alive. They've got a few LMG troopers over here doing an absolutely brutal last stand against some Spartan warriors that are getting right up against their grill here. Look at those Apaches getting some good splash missile fire, helping out their boys down below, but will it be enough? My god, we might just have to pivot and buff up the defenses in the next battle for the U.S. because this was a slaughter, man. The CIA over here completely destroyed. My goodness, yeah, it really is just the bridge and a few Apaches over this way. Well, the actual bridge itself already dead on the battlefield. Yikes. And now it's just up to these guys to prevent the full crossing. I guess we'll just go ahead and watch the overhead, and they're donezo, basically. 4.8 million Spartans remain. Yeah, wowza. And 2,000 U.S. Army soldiers. Alright, all we got left is 4 measly Apaches that are bound to go down very soon, but we're gonna retreat the U.S. Army back and have them face against 5 million Spartans in the next set of bridges to see if they can then have a second chance at defending. Alright boys, the U.S. Army has retreated back to this next set of bridges. I tried to cram 5 million Spartans and Greek soldiers in this area, but then the water kept cutting them off. So we are at 4.5 million of them. The water's about to roll on in, so let's press start before further ado. We've got 13,900 U.S. Army soldiers. They all limped backwards. These guys are going to be cannon fodder in the front this time, and behind them is going to be our LMGs and marksmen and stuff, and the Apaches. So that way, when the archers do get to the front lines, these guys are going to be the first to die, and the others will still continue to get shots off. Then down here, we've got our DMRs that are going to be firing away, while protected by more LMGs up front. Back here, we have our Sea Whizzes. I tried to spawn them all down here. For some reason, a few spawned up there, but they're providing good cover fire. We do have a lineup of troopers over here because a flank will definitely come from this way, so we want to protect that flank for sure. And then we've got more soldiers over this way. We should have a nuclear missile system somewhere, unless it didn't spawn in. Oh, no, it's right there. Okay. I definitely saw that earlier, too, so I don't know what's wrong with me. My goodness. So either way, that will also be firing and contributing to the battlefield, hopefully. And we might see a modern U.S. Army victory, because this is definitely a better set of bridges to defend versus the other one we saw. It definitely is more defensible. Any soldiers down here yet? No, not really. A few are running from over here. I don't know how they got blown down that way, but they did somehow. All right. Well, hopefully they can make it back in time to get shot. Wonderful. Wonderful. We've got flankers over this way. Here comes the water rushing on downwards here. So we're going to have this whole area cut off now. And look at this. A few troops getting washed away from the flood as it comes on through. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. A few of these guys are down here, too. And they're going to get a little soggy. A little bit soggy from the water. But that's okay. Yeah, it's not super deep, so I don't think they'll drown or anything like that, which is good. And we do have a few Spartans actually reaching them over there, but the main bridges are still doing perfectly fine, which is good to see. Catapults and stuff like that are still on the battlefield. Where did they spawn? Oh, they're over here. Okay, so they're going to be up over this way and maybe coming in the flank here. We do have soldiers actually charging the flank down this way, and the walls here will start kicking up their defense pretty soon. In fact, these guys up top here already having to fire away. Right now, we have 4.39 million of the Spartan soldiers remaining, and we have a staggering, 100,000 kills for the U.S. Army. Meanwhile, 35 U.S. Army soldiers have died thus far, so not really too big a deal. Let's watch them firing over here as they try and cross the river, because this is pretty neat. Alright, the Spartans down here getting slaughtered to the point where they're pushed back now, which is good to see, and the bridges are still cleared. Let's see how the flank is going, though. Alright, Sea Whiz is having to get involved, and yes, we do have some mass casualties over here for these U.S. Army soldiers as Spartiates end up coming on in. M1A2 Abrams back there, though, getting some good chiclet fire in there as well. So we have 263 killed U.S. Army soldiers and 200,000 dead Spartans. Let's go ahead and watch up here at this little wall entrance area. Alright, these fellas did get curb stomped, but it seems like the buck is stopping here as the M1A2 Abrams, as well as these Sea Whizzes are preventing them from coming further down the mountain, at least for now. Let's see how it's going over this way. We are starting to see some losses, so that means archers are definitely getting to the front, because there's not really too many dead bodies on the bridge itself yet. Same thing over here, so yeah, there must be archers through here, and yes, I am seeing a few, but not like a crazy amount, just a couple, and they're getting shot down pretty quick, so it's not too bad. We do have catapults all the way up here. I have no idea if they're able to fire from here. I do not see them firing one bit, so I don't think that's a problem. I'm wondering if any are going to migrate down this way, because that would be... Oh, yes, there are a couple. That's going to be deadly, because then the Sea Whizzes might get opened up on from those guys. So currently the Spartan armies are making like slow progress. It's just nothing too major yet, I would say, but it could become major, that is for sure. So right now we have 3.7 million Spartans remaining and 12,188 US Army soldiers. Let's watch the overhead time lapse here. Alright, we've still got 10,000 US Army soldiers, actually just under 11,000, my bad, sorry about that, and 3.39 million Spartan soldiers, but I am noticing a lot of arrow fire, particularly up here, so that's a little bad. I think most of it's actually hitting the Apache? No. Why is so much of this getting deflected? Like, the guys in front of these got killed, and it's like these guys have a force field or something. Maybe it is the Apaches, because they are not getting beat up at all. Okay, this Apache is a little bit damaged, so maybe when that Apache dies, these guys will then proceed to get absolutely hammered and lose a ton of soldiers? Potentially? Maybe? M1A2 Abrams over here still holding out. Some of the Sea Whizzes did end up dying up top here, but the ones down below are still good, as is the nuclear missile system, though it's taken some losses. So I'm guessing, yes, we do have catapults coming in over here. So that's another little existential threat over this way. Could be very, very damaging. Do we have troopers over here? No, they're just dead over here, I think, from nukes blowing them over that way. Then down here, these guys are still chilling. These guys over here have taken some losses from arrows as well. So once again, the archers for the Greeks and the catapults for them are what is mainly hurting a lot. But this little Apache helping these guys out is awesome. Let's watch these guys actually firing and the arrows bouncing off the Apache. But then we'll be able to see the instant the Apache dies, these guys getting absolutely wiped off the face of the earth from all those arrows. And there we go, their Apache must have died, or got moved. No, there's only 3 Apaches, so I think it died, probably. Because these guys down here are now taking damage and getting killed in droves. Not good. These guys also over here taking more damage now. The Spartans are getting not really any closer, though, which is a good thing, I suppose. These guys still holding off these Spartans quite nicely, which is good. But the bridge area over here is definitely starting to become more and more concerning. Why don't we watch the overhead time-lapse over here. 3.1 million Spartans remaining and 9,600 US Army soldiers remaining. Okay, boys, some devastating losses for the U.S. military here. They're down to 4,588. I think the main reason for that massive depletion in their number of soldiers is the archers and catapults. They are ripping into them big time. Now, 2.6 million of the enemy's remain, so they've killed about half of their force. Not bad. It's just not going to get the job done, though. Everyone down here is dead. These guys are still hanging in there, which is good to see. And the Sea Whizzes, Nuke, and M1 Abrams are also still alive. So maybe the big boys back here can come out to play and manage to get a successful defense going. The problem is the soldiers in front of them are just not going to live for so much longer, and then all of the enemies will be fixated on them. So that's not very good. They're still not really crossing the bridge too much. Every once in a while, a trooper here or there gets across. Down here, they are crossing. But up here, yeah, they are not able to at all. There's still too much fire from the U.S. military for them to truly cross over that way. So why don't we go ahead and watch... Oh, a nuke went off. Very nice. Let's watch the overhead over here for a while then. they're still technically holding with 2.19 million Spartans remaining, and they have 2,200 soldiers themselves. Their infantry is still somehow keeping up with the onslaught of Spartans, which is great to see. They're still losing soldiers here and there. It's just not enough to fully dice them up and destroy them, which is definitely a good thing for sure. Why don't we do a little bit of a close-up of these guys, watching the enemies come in and also fire at them. Alright guys, it's been another 40 minutes here. There's still 1,300 American soldiers left. The body pile has grown so high that the water is now clogged by a dam over here from those bodies, which is pretty crazy. We've still got Sea-Whizzes over here. We still got M1A2 Abrams as well. The Spartans are still coming up this way, but less so, and I think the nuke is helping with that quite a bit. Now, this is a long-lasting battle, so we're just going to let it ride with the last 1.6 million Spartans and 1,100 U.S. Army soldiers, since it's getting really late at night and I want to go to bed. So we'll check back in the morning and see who the ultimate victor was. And there we have it, gamers. It actually didn't last much longer, it appears, since we stopped recording. The Spartans end up with another victory with 1.5 million dead US, or no, sorry, 1.5 million Spartans remaining. So US killed like 3.5 million in this battle, and 13,828 dead US Army soldiers. Once again, Spartans, you know, dominate. I think they are stronger than the Romans, this shows. I think they did a better job overall in these battles, and the SPQR's got some catching up to do, because these guys definitely wiped the floor with them. And the U.S. military did do a great holdout, but I think it was just overwhelming, the sheer number that they were dealing with here, so they were not able to hold them back. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.